Hello and welcome to the Opus WealthStyle podcast. I'm your host today, Evan Wall, joined with my business partner, Iván Watanabe. Iván, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your level of gratitude at this moment in time?
Dude, that's a great question. I think my level of gratitude today is like an 8 out
Eight.
of
That's pretty
10.
good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
We're gonna come back to that topic a little later.
love it.
I figured today we're gonna keep it light. We're just gonna have fun. It's sort of a holiday episode, except by the time you listen to this, it will be past the holidays, so it'll be a throwback holiday episode. But for us, we're just going to have fun. We're not going to talk too much about finance topics. We just want you guys to get to know us a little bit more. So what I did is I went into Chat GPT and asked us to come up with asked it to help me come up with some questions. And I thought I was going to do it live. I tested it out, didn't work so well. So I played around with it a few times. But we're going to just play around with some questions. Obviously, it's not going to be one-sided. We'll go back and forth, but stay tuned to the end because we have some holiday gifts that we're going to give away. Should you actually reach out and request them? But let's jump in. So
I love it.
today, I figured we'll start with holiday themed. Let's get to know each other, right? So I asked Chat GPT, exactly what I just said, and said, let's, keep it fun. We're okay embarrassing ourselves a little bit, so keep that in mind. Let's start with holiday traditions. What's your favorite holiday tradition and why? Do you have any quirky traditions within your family?
Yeah, I think so I don't know. We've sort of not like superstitious, but we really like to start the new year off like with a couple of goal setting activities and things like that. I don't know, we're sort of like that in my family. And one of the things that we always do, it got passed down to me from my mom, is I go to the bank and I get like a whole bunch of like new crisp $2 bills, and I
Okay.
give them to like my mom, Joanna, and like so in my drawer now I have like a whole bunch of like $2 bills that I get every year, and I sort of keep it in my wallet throughout the year. And it's now been like passed down to Joanna's nephews. So I get them $2 bills, and I get some members of my team $2 bills, and my mom and Joanna. So like everybody has them. And then I got a recent text message from my mom. I guess like some random $2 bills that were printed over the last like 20 years are worth like some actual money, like,
Really?
like
More than $2?
$20,000, like
Oh,
thousands of
wow.
dollars, right? So now I have to go back at some point and see if any of these $2 bills like were printed in this particular batch or whatever it is. But yeah, so that's
Who
a
would
little
pay
quirk.
$20,000 for a $2 bill?
No idea. I have no idea. But it's sort of, it's on
Is
my
it a good
list
luck
of.
thing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like my mom's in sales. And so I think she has like some of these quirky things, and it's kind of passed them down to me over the years. And so like I said, that, and as you received in the mail, like
Yeah.
I'm very much
Here it is.
into getting sort of daily quotes, and surrounding myself with some positive sort of thoughts during the daytime. So I send everybody in my study group or on the team, whether they read them or not. I don't know if it goes into a drawer or goes in the trash, but it's sort of irrelevant to me, honestly. I feel like I did my job by
That's
supporting
right.
everybody and shoot out the daily calendars to everybody. So those are like two things that I do to try to get folks started off right. For the new year. So New Year's relatively big for us. How about you guys? What do you guys do for the
I love
holiday?
I
What's
love
yours?
that yours is all about other people, family, people important in your life. I love that.
Yeah.
Ours is kind of a silly one. We're Jewish. We celebrate Hanukkah, just as most Jews would. But you know, in addition to like just my wife and 3 kids celebrating Hanukkah during actual Hanukkah, we do a big wall Hanukkah party with aunts, uncles, cousins, just everyone comes over. And because timing never works out, it never during Hanukkah. And more often than not, it's actually creeps over into the next year. So January 6th, I think we got
That's so
our
funny.
wall Hanukkah party. Because we just want everyone to be there. And we hosted at our house. We always have Italian food and latkes.
That's so
Just
funny.
a very random but personal mix
I
that everybody seems to
love
love. So
that.
we
Yeah.
just stick with it. The mountain of presents has gotten so big because there's more kids every single year now with all the cousins, us having kids, my cousins, etc. That I've started to I got to restrict these gifts. It's like I got to put rules in place so these it doesn't take 3 hours to give
I
out
love
gifts,
it.
which it has in the past, which is too
Yeah,
much. So anyway, that's probably my favorite holiday tradition is
that's
a wall
awesome.
Hanukkah party.
I love that. We just started. So we moved into our home in December of 2021. Yeah, 2021. So that Christmas we didn't host. But I think going forward, our house is kind of like a good place for all the
Hmm.
family to get together. So we hosted last year, we host this year, and Joanna is very into like doing competitions. So
Okay,
last year was like
love that.
a bunch of kids and adults were like split into teams doing a gingerbread house
Oh,
competition.
no, that's a good
There was
idea.
some there were some claims of collusion because one of the dads
Yep,
was
yep.
a judge, and then people are really like up in arms about this. So there's now going to be like a competition this year where folks get broken up into teams. I bought a trophy, like a Santa trophy that says like,
Is this for a gingerbread building still?
no, it's going to be like there's a whole bunch, there's a couple of different, there's like one mental one, there's going to be one physical challenge, there's going to be like it's like broken up. It's, it's
Send me the details. I'm going to
I will.
incorporate that. One thing we've kind of gotten away from it. We in the past we would do a joke challenge. So everybody, you don't have to, but if you go around the room and whoever wants to tell a joke would tell a joke,
That's so good.
and I'm the MC, so I'm the single and sole judge. So I determine who got the biggest laugh, and whoever I think got the biggest laugh gets the first gift.
Love it.
And so now that we have more kids, I did like which kid can jump the highest, and they all start jumping, and everybody
That's
gets
great.
kids. But they're getting a little older where we can do like more fun stuff now. So
I love
anyway,
that.
send that along. I'm gonna
We'll do.
incorporate that.
We'll do.
So let's move on to the next one. So festive favorites. Let's see the gift giving. If what's the best and worst gift you've ever received or given?
Man, that's wow. Um, Best gift I've been given. Man, that's a
And you
tough
can't say
one.
your kid.
I know, obviously, right? Oof, that's a good one. The first thing that comes to mind is random, but I work out at an Orange Theory studio. Like a lot of people are familiar with this, so this is where I go work out. And I went to the studio on my birthday, and normally they do like maybe they take a picture with something like you did a workout, and I always refuse because I don't like taking my picture and after I just work out, right? But they gave me like a handwritten birthday card, and I was like, huh. Like for some reason, it just was so unexpected. It was like actually touching. I can't explain. Like I on genuinely felt
Yeah.
like touched by them giving me like a handwritten birthday card. It was the most recent one that came to memory. Obviously, Joanna will probably kill me because she's given me a million great gifts over the
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
But for whatever reason, I walked home and I went home and I was like, man, Joe, they gave me like a birthday card. And it was just so random, so unexpected that my gym would get. I don't know. That's so that for me, a recent gift was the birthday card from the Orange Theory studio that I go work out at.
Wow. I
Yeah,
bet they wouldn't expect that. You should
for
tell
sure.
them how.
I'll shout them out for sure. It
Yeah.
was legitimately touching for whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah. When
How about
I
you?
thought about it for myself, I went way back to childhood, and I was a golfer when I was still a golfer, but I golfed when I was a kid, and I was really into this TaylorMade Nubbins putter. And for any golfers out there, you probably know what it is. It's like got this rubber face where anyway. And we didn't have we were fine. We were middle class. We didn't have a ton of money, so but it was an expensive putter, especially for well, I was for 12, 13 years old. And so my dad was very good at, playing it off like we're probably not getting that. And he wrapped it in this like elaborate box where like I could not figure it out. And it was great. It was I made many putts with
I
that
love
with that putter over the years.
I love that. And do you still have it?
I moved on from that putter several years ago, but I played with it for probably 10 years or something. So,
That's funny.
I've been
That's
playing golf for a
awesome.
while. And I have when it said what's the worst gift you've ever given,
Oh yeah.
I can't say to the audience, but there was one in particular that I gave to Lori that just Didn't go well. It didn't go. Let's just say it didn't go as I had envisioned in my head. And
You thought it was spot on. You thought it was just like a
I thought she
very
would think it was
thoughtful
funny.
gift.
I thought she would think it was funny,
Got
and
it.
she did not.
She Well, you have to share with me on off camera what that is. I can't even think of a bad. I would consider myself a pretty good gift giver. Like I'm an awful gift receiver.
Mm.
Like I'm like you join it. It's like a meme. Like if I want something, I generally would just go pick it up,
Yeah, yeah.
and if I don't get it, then it's like maybe I can't afford it or like something different. But um, I'm just an awful gift giver or gift receiver. Like
Hmm.
apparently I'm tough to shop for, but I feel like I'm a decent gift giver. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
quality. It's good
Yeah.
quality.
I much prefer giving gifts than receiving gifts. I'm kind of awkward about like getting stuff. I don't know. Just,
It's normal. It's
yeah,
normal.
it's weird.
Any looking back on your childhood, holiday memories, any that just looking back just makes you laugh at yourself?
I don't know about laughing at myself. I think, my childhood or Christmas time, we used to go spend a lot of it in Venezuela with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like some of the best times of my life, just going there, spending Christmas with them. Basically my, during the summers and also during Christmas time, my folks would like put me on a plane. I was one of those kids. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but
Yeah.
like flying with like my ID pouch in my front, and my
Oh,
parents would like
really?
leave me at the door at the airplane, and the stewardess would like go take me, and like
How old?
8,
Wow.
7, 8. Like,
Yeah.
of course, I wouldn't even dream of doing that today, right? But for whatever reason, it was like sort of commonplace, and I would go
Yeah.
spend my Christmas in Venezuela and the summers there. So I always have really really fond memories of everybody spending time there. I think that was the year, if I remember correctly, that was Christmas when I flew first. Then my mom and dad flew second to meet us there, and I got stung by a scorpion.
Oh my
Um,
God, a
yeah,
scorpion.
yeah, I got stung by a scorpion in Venezuela when I was a kid, and they had to. We were in like this remote town by the beach. We had to go. They killed the scorpion. It was like a comedy of errors. We got into a car. The car, they went to turn it on. The car had no gas. Went into the other car, drove, found my aunt was the only one who knew like where the hospital was. She
Hmm.
like is like half out of it. We get there. It's like a one-room hospital.
Hmm.
My other aunt's like questioning this lady because apparently the doctor looked like she was 12, and like I was screaming. It was wild. Like I remember it so vividly. And I'm pretty sure that was a Christmas experience.
That's a did where did it bite you? Like on your ankle or foot or
It
something? Did
was
it just
right on my
swell up
it was right
really?
on my bicep. Like I just remember it feeling like it was on fire.
Oh my
Basically, I was in
God.
a hammock, and it must have been like either on the wall or in the hammock, and
Oh,
it just stung me, and like it was over.
you're
Yeah.
freaking me out. Oh
It did.
man.
It was wild. It was wild. What about you? Any embarrassing or funny stories from your childhood?
Uh, I'm sure there are. The just what, as it relates to the holiday times, or really specifically Christmas for my childhood, I was just always spent movie and Chinese food. And that was like it's not even like our family tradition. That's like a Jewish person tradition, at
Sure,
least
sure.
in like the Northeast anyway. I don't know. But it was just we always saw like a good movie or some movie that was out in theaters, and it was the theaters were empty, which was great. And then we went out to like a great Chinese restaurant, and they were all open, which was also great. And it's always better eating in the restaurant than getting delivery. So
Absolutely.
that's
What are you doing this Christmas? Do you
we're
guys have
flying. We're
plans?
actually we're gonna have Chinese food. We're flying down to we're taking my kids and flying down to see my parents in Florida. And my mom just texted that she's gonna order Chinese food. So
Love it.
we'll keep the tradition
Keep
alive.
that tradition alive,
Yeah,
man. I love it. I
pretty
absolutely
special.
love it. That's
All
awesome.
right. So for the last one, let's reflect on the year. What did you learn from this year? Any big wins or successes you want to share? But mainly, what did you learn from this year?
Yeah. That's a good question. I think the one thing that my wife shared with me this year, that Joanna shared with me this year, that was like a real eye opener was she sent me this video, and she said like, don't get offended by the video, just kind of watch it and like you're a great partner, but just watch the video without the lens of like getting defensive, right?
Hmm.
Basically, she kind
Hmm.
of like prefaced it. And she sends me this video,
So
and the
immediately you get defensive.
yeah, yeah, right. I'm like, oh God, I'm in for it. So
Right.
the general premise of the video, and it was really powerful for me to watch, was when I'm, let's say I'm doing some chores around the house, right? That are joint chores that we both have to do, whether it's laundry or dishes
Hmm.
or something else. I'll often ask her like, "Hey, what do you need help with?"
Hmm.
And the phrase like, "What do you need help us doing?" or "What do you need help with? What chores need to be done?" Whatever, that implies the helping her implies that they're her chores to do,
Hmm.
and I'm
Hmm.
helping her with her chores.
Hmm.
Whereas the real conversation, the real reality of it is they're the household chores that need to be done between both of us,
Yeah.
right? Or we outsource it, right? But
Hmm.
like that's the household chores that need to get done. So
Hmm.
the phrase like, "Hey, what do you need help with?" really implies that they're hers and I'm doing her a favor by helping her with those chores. And so that like reframing of, hey, what need, maybe it's, hey, what else needs to get done, what
Hmm.
haven't you done that I can do, like, and just sort of thinking ahead around that piece of it really was like genuinely valuable for me to reframe my thought process around how things get done in our house.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know if it's like just social norms or conditioning or whatever it might be, but like it really helped me sort of again reframe my perspective on how to, again, I'm about to say like how to help her, but really like how do we accomplish these things together and
Hmm.
not me just helping her with the things that she needs to get done because primarily she has historically been the one that does it, right? So
Hmm.
um so that's like a sort of an eye opener for me as I go, go forward. I think we're all trying to get better at being parents or husbands or
Yeah.
wives or just at everything, right? So this was one that thankfully I was open to hearing, because sometimes you may not be all that open to receiving the feedback, or you could have been defensive in that moment, but for whatever reason, like it really was eye opening for me to kind of see and hear that. So
Yeah.
hope
Language matters, language matters in what you say to yourself, what you say to people around you. And, just a small change like that,
yep, yeah,
it could change a
yeah,
lot. So,
definitely. And I think again, besides that, like I think just leaning into the gratitude, I think surrounding myself with great like-minded partners, clients, friends, books, quotes, positive content, coaches, like it is not easy to function in today's world with, in a sort of with gratitude and
mhm.
grace and like positivity. I think there's so much good and so much negative out there, and you can really sort of shift your focus on whatever is there, and social media has its positives and also sort of its negatives. And um I don't know, I think it just has been reiterated to me this year in particular to make sure that the people that I surround myself with are ones that I like to spend time with, that I care about, that are thoughtful, that care about me. Like those types of things, those relationships are critically important to me. And I think, again, we're super excited to have you on board. Um, genuinely appreciate everything you bring to the table on a daily basis. Like again, it's so important for us, or for me at least. And so, again, that's a big reflection for me this year for sure.
I
Yeah.
appreciate the kind words,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that feeling for sure is mutual. Um, I wrote down a quote the other day. One can have no smaller or greater mastery than the mastery of oneself. Leonardo da Vinci. I heard that from the audiobook I'm listening to, Masters by, I think it's Robert Greene, if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, Robert Greene. Great book. Highly recommend it. And it's all about that, right? I spent my entire year seeing so much growth in my business over the last couple of years, which is a lot of fun, right? Growth is great, is a lot more fun than stagnation or
Yep.
moving backwards. And so, but I do think that a lot of the growth in my life has come from simple things like that, like that you mentioned with Joanna, of just being more available and alert to not just asking what can I do, what do you need me to do, but trying to get ahead of it, and instead of getting mad in my own mind about why this house is so messy. Just clean stuff, just pick stuff up and
Yeah,
start to
yeah.
take some action. But one of the things that my very generous assistant Megan sent me, I think it was January of, I think it was either last year or this year. I forget which year it was, but it was the 5 minute journal. You can pick one up at intelligentchange.com. But I do this every night and every morning when I wake up and every night before I go to bed. And it just asked just a few questions. So first, when you wake up, I am grateful for, list three things. What would make today great? List three things. Daily affirmations, couple things. And then at the end of the night or at the end of the day before you go to bed, three highlights of the day. And what did you learn today? And so I did that every morning and every night for the whole, more than a year now. And I really do think it made a difference. Lori has told me that, I seem happier, and I don't think that's the sole reason, but certainly it adds to it. And even about a month or 2 months ago, I had another gratitude journal that was gifted to me that I, had these others. So I gifted it to, I regifted it to my daughter, Quinn, who's 6 years old, and she actually loves doing it with me. And it's one of my favorite things that she comes in the morning and we do our gratitude journal together. And she loves to play the
That's
game of
awesome.
going to bed as late as possible. So she waits till everything is done. She's like, "Oh, wait, what about our journal?" And she knows I'm a sucker. So I'm always going to say,
Yeah.
"Yeah, let's go do our journal." But we do it together and it's awesome. And I love that I'm instilling, that same thought process of being grateful for all the awesome things that we have in our lives, she has in her lives. And so, as I mentioned earlier, the first 10 people to reach out are going to get a free version or a free book, the 5 minute journal. I pass it on to people as gifts just because I want to spread the love. And so the first 10 people to reach out, happy to send them your way, either for yourself or other loved ones in your life.
I love it, man. Yeah, no, that's a really cool tradition or sort of ongoing practice that you have, and I'll definitely try to steal that when Mia is a little bit older and can actually write. Right now, she's scribbling
Oh
with
yeah.
crayons, usually on my
Yeah,
furniture,
yeah.
everything besides paper. But yeah, I love that, man. I think that's a great idea, and I think going forward next year for 2024, I think that's a cool, positive. Um, Ongoing practice for us to have in general. Just keep
Yeah.
passing on that gratitude. I think that's 100%, what we're about as a firm and
Yeah.
individuals. So I'm
Yeah.
psyched about it.
Absolutely. Well, this is our last recording of 2023. I don't know how many we did, but it was a bunch, a lot of great episodes. Go back, check them out, reach out if there's any other topics that you want us to touch on. Again, check out our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, give us a like, subscribe. We read all reviews and appreciate every one of them. So we'll see you next year, or for you guys, we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening.